Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. It's been a while, been what, 2-3 weeks or more now since last video. In that last video you saw me move the chicken brooder out onto the land, and since that time everything's been going great. So I'll try to get you guys an update on that someday soon, but today's video is not for that purpose. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you've noticed this box, this Pit Boss barbecue that's been here, I don't know, at least 2 years, just sitting in the background, not put together. Been a real thorn in my side. It's been the epitome of procrastination, just sitting around in the background. I've been using it as a cutting table. I've always just had a project here in the main garage area that's given me an excuse not to put it together. But finally, with the brooder moved out, it's time to put it together. So you might say, well, where have you been in the past couple of weeks? Well, I've been working. I've been working a lot, actually. And if you've seen my last moto vlog, I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole on, things and the way they are in the world right now. And I'm heeding my own advice and being a little bit defensive, financial-wise, and just kind of taking a step back to make sure that everything going on in the background in my life is taken care of before I indulge in this entertainment and hobby side of things. So I've made some numerous changes. I've processed some rabbits, cut down on the number of rabbits we have, while also growing out the ones that we have bred already. And again, working a lot more to bring in some more income, just to get everything stabilized and create a financial cushion. And I would definitely recommend to those of you out there, if you haven't begun doing the same, you may want to consider doing it. If you have the opportunity and means to do so, of course. One other thing, speaking of this hobby and making videos and entertainment, one thing that I don't like to ask, but I'm going to ask it today, since hopefully this video will probably bring in a few more views, over my usual average, and that is for you to subscribe. All right, my channel, typically videos, anything with any significant amount of views on it, typically probably has about 95 or more % of the people that watch it are not subscribed to the channel. And so I do invite you, if you haven't subscribed, please do so now, just to help this channel to grow. It's growing great. I'm not complaining in any way, shape, or form, but I would like to see that extra support come in, just, if anything, just to keep the motivation flowing in making these videos. Not that I'm not going to make them anyways, but it's always nice to see those extra people coming and taking in the content. And if you're only here for a review, I'm making this barbecue and putting it together, you might actually like some of my other content. And so it'd be an idea to subscribe and see my future videos come up in your YouTube feed. And that's just one way of doing it: ringing the notification bell, subscribing, and liking the videos. So if you could do any of that for me, just to help support and grow the channel, that would be amazing. If not, that's your own prerogative. I'm not going to ask you to do this on a regular basis. This is just a one-off. It's a trend that I'm seeing, that most of my viewers are not subscribed. So I figured, you know what, I'll take a couple minutes just to ask you guys, if you don't mind, to please subscribe. And hopefully you enjoy the content that I provide. We're getting close on 200 videos. And so there's lots of content to go back and review. And hopefully, as again, I've found an audience that enjoys what I do. And if it's not your cup of tea, maybe if you watched enough, it might turn out to be. Alright, so there you go. I am a bit of a rambler, and I tend to do an intro ramble on my videos. So that's going to be about it. Let's get into seeing what barbecue I have here, or the grill. It is a Pit Boss, and I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer, show you the box. We'll highlight some of the features that they have listed on the box. Then I'll get into assembly, and we'll take it from there, see how it goes. And I've never had a wood pellet grill before. This is my first Pit Boss. I got it about half price at Walmart. I think it was regular, like $650 Canadian. and I think I got it for around $3.75, so a little bit above half price. So it's been sitting around. Now's the time. Let's get into it. Let's put it together. At some point maybe I'll operate it, review it, but for the most part right now we're just going to get this thing together finally. Alright, let's get going. Alright folks, so let's get into what the box is telling us. Do a quick once over on all the features that are advertised, and then we'll get into an unboxing and assembly. So of course this is the brand name Pit Boss. As far as I understand, it's a good brand name. I've seen a few reviews here and there, but not of this particular grill. But I've seen lots of YouTubers and stuff using this grill, and it sure looks to be a good one. So let's try it out. Wood pellet grill, real wood flavor. This is the Austin XL. It's an 8-in-1. This grill does it all. So it grills, smokes, bakes, roasts, sears, brazes, char grills, and barbecues. Bonus of 2 meat probes included. And over here we got an extra large hopper, we got digital controls, we got meat probe technology, we got an extra large grilling space, pellet sight glass, and flame broil technology. That's just an item number there, and overall www.pitboss-grills.com. And caution, heavy. This is very heavy. And on top of the box, nothing major, just download the Pit Boss app, the ultimate grilling companion for Pit Boss owners, free recipes, community, shop accessories, and much more. Good for the Apple iOS and Google Play Android. And that is about it, I believe. Yeah, anything else on the sides is just a repeat of what I've already said. So let's get ready and unbox this thing. Alright, so all we have here is some packaging straps. A couple of those have fallen off since I've been moving this around the garage so much. But we'll get the last 2 off. And from what I have felt moving this around, I believe this lid will just lift off. Alright, so let's get rid of some of this packaging material. Let's see what we have here. Okay, on the back here, there is one flat metal piece. I don't know if that's the base that the wheels will go on or not, but we'll get to it, I'm sure. Alright, so we got some hardware on the inside. Now overall, so far, I am enjoying the fact that the grill body seems to have a lot of the assembly done. So, you know, while I am enjoying that fact, it's also a little bit disappointing that I've put this off for so long if it ends up being really easy. So at least through this video you'll know what I go through, and you'll be able to judge it yourself if you're going to procrastinate or take the time and put it together. Whereas I never did that. But keep in mind, a lot of these components are quite heavy. This is the grills in here. The more weight I can remove from the inside of this, the better. There's a lot of racks and stuff by the feel of it. They definitely packaged things as compact as they could, that's for sure. Stickers seem to come off nicely, which is always a nice thing. You don't want to have all that sticker residue left behind, especially for it to get baked on. couple little buckets down inside the hopper. I don't know how that's going to come out. I'll have to figure a way. Probably have to take this little grill out in order to get at them. Alright, so we got everything pretty much unpacked here. And speaking of stickers, get that out. That's just held on with 2 strip magnets. Very nice. Let's get this sticker off here as well. Alright, so we're getting through the unboxing. Let's close this up here now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the box and lay it out here just to keep it from getting scratched up. Always try to take care of your investments. And then I'm going to move the main unit towards that and we'll get it off of this box here. It's a lot lighter with all the stuff taken out of it, that's for sure. So now that I got it laid out here, I'm going to start by opening up some of these smaller boxes and we'll lay out our parts and see what we got. This cardboard is definitely a lot nicer on the knees than concrete would be. So we got wheels. Really nice looking wheels actually. Not often that I would say we got a nice looking wheel, but it's actually quite fancy. For a barbecue anyways, right? And this thing, whatever that is, like a handle or something. Looks like maybe a utensil hanging rack. That'll be my first guess anyways, would be a utensil hanging rack. We'll find out as we go. Some handle hardware. And either a heat disbursement tray or a serving tray. Alright, we'll see what that ends up being. Continuing on, there's some kind of a heat disbursement tray. Okay, it looks almost like a drip tray. I believe that'll go down inside the grill. And looks like another similar component. Oh, this is a flame broiler. I guess this is an add-on that you can do if you're going to do frame broiling. It says that you achieve sear marks like your favorite steakhouse. You lift out the grids, you open the slide plate, and you start grilling. Alright. And speaking of that slide plate, I think this is going to be it. Or part of it anyways. We'll find out. I tell you right now, this is the most complex barbecue I've ever had. I believe this is just an upper grilling rack, or thawing rack, or slow cooker rack. Alright, that's just an upper rack. I'll lay that aside till we get to the point of actually putting the grills into the barbecue. And we got 3 more grills. I'm going to lay them aside as well till we get to them. Okay, so now one of the heavier boxes. I'm thinking this is going to be the legs. That's my assumption. Alright, I think this is going to be the meat of the project here. 2 side panels by the looks of it. Legs. Handle, some more pieces. More casters. Not sure what that is. More legs. Hardware kit. Doesn't look too bad. Chimney. Chimney cover. And a thermometer. So at this point in time, folks, we're ready to assemble our main support station, legs, stand, frame, whatever you want to call it. I think that's what we're going to get into now. We did have that large metal base plate. I got that laid to the side. I'm assuming that's the bottom. So at this point now, I'm going to start looking at the directions. Make sure I do this properly. Overall, it's not a lot of parts per se, and hopefully this goes smoothly. So let's get up and start assembly. Alright folks, so at this point in time I got all my parts laid around me. I got my hardware kit here. I got my, I don't know if this is a recipe book or instruction book for assembly. I'll find out. It's quite a book. Yes, looks like assembly. Let's try to find the English part of it. There we go. So, pretty involved looking thing. But we will start off with assembly now, and I'll just sit here, pick away at this, try to edit something together for you guys that makes sense at the end of all this. I am using my impact drill with a Phillips bit, or star bit, whatever you want to call it, and that is what all these screws in the hardware kit are. So, no time like the right time. Gonna get started, and hopefully this goes together nicely. So far we got good labeling. Left front leg is written on the inside of this. And right rear leg on this one. Alright, so first attachment that I'm going to be doing are these little triangular supports for the legs, and looks like there's only one particular way that those are going to go. So to attach these feet on the leg, these triangular feet, I'm using a screw letter G, and they're just a regular tapered end screw. They look like a wood screw. And that's left front leg and left rear leg are the ones that receive those. So judging by the orientation of this, there's different markings in the book. I would presume the left front leg would be 15-1, part number 15-1, and the rear leg would be part number 15-2. So next I'm going to be using parts A, B, and C, screws A, B, and C. It's going to go through, so the bolt is going to go through a lock washer first, then a regular washer, and then into the base. So I'm going to have to do this at least 4 times. So I'm just going to get 4 of those put together. And I am using a magnetic bowl for my nuts and bolts. And they are staying in it nicely just so I don't lose anything. Okay, there's 4 of those made up. And it looks like I'm going to go ahead and put on 15-1, 15-2, 16-1, 16-2, and use 4 bolts all together to attach those. Alright, so let's move on to the next step. This is going to be step number 2, completing the cart. So that is going to be these pieces here going in between the legs. And these are going to be screw number H and 16 of those. Alright, looks pretty straightforward. 2 screws per side, and then we got the small ones to do there, and then we're going to be going on the legs, or I should say the wheels. So, not too bad. So let us go to this one. Find letter H. These are quite small, fine thread screws. And I don't know if I'll fit the drill in to get these. Might have to do these by hand. Alright, so that is this frame put together, or the cart as they call it. Next step is some wheels. And again, for these plates here, side, front and back, just use a handheld screwdriver. It's just as well, because it is a bit of a tight squeeze. So next on the list is to get the wheels on. Looks like the casters just shoot on in there, and then the rear wheels look like they're pretty straightforward as well. So let's just have a look at that and see how it goes. And we'll start off with the casters. Looks like they screw in. There we are, and now I believe our kit comes with some axles for the other wheels. I believe I saw those earlier. So we have 2 axles here for the rear wheels, and I believe there are also some clips in there and washers. So we have 2 washers and 2 retaining clips. Like that. So I believe, see where the which side the washer goes on, I guess. Looks like the washer and the clip are on the inside. So there. Oh, the wheel is just on the outside. A washer and a clip. Washer and clip. There we are. So that is the wheels onto the cart. So let's get that stood up upright. Alright, so at this point the cart is done. So I gotta get that grill up onto the cart. So I guess I should say at this point in time, do not try this at home. I'm going to see how this goes, see if I can get this up here myself. But it is significantly heavy. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and pivot it up onto it or something. But you'll see how it goes, whether for good or for bad. Alright, I'm still in one piece, so time to get some screws in this thing. And these screws inside here is the same combination we used on the legs, the ACB. So it's a bolt, lock nut, and a washer. And I'm going to put all these in hand tight before I crank them down. So at this point here now, I'm just removing these 4 screws because I looked ahead in the directions and it said these need to be removed. And then there's like a heat diffuser that goes in here and then they get replaced back in again. So I'm just going to have this done. So I'll lay 4 of those in my magnetic bowl. So let's have another look now. Tank is on, 3 screws on either corner. I do have 3 screw holes in the back here. I'm thinking that that is for more attachments to the side plates. So I'm going to get those screws. I think those are going to be the G's. So that seems to be the only ones left, are these wood screw type G ones. So hopefully I'm correct with that. Because there's 6 holes and there's 6 of these. What's next? Now we put that diffuser plate in. So I'll grab that. As you can see, there is a cutout to go around this heat box, I'll call it. Get these screws reinstalled. Now, one thing I am going to do real quick is just blow out the extra styrofoam that's down in the bottom here. And then we'll continue. Alright, so let's go ahead now and get this diffuser plate put in. Alright, so at this point now the barrel is attached and we're ready to do some finer details. So next thing on the list is the lid stopper and thermometer and handle. So let's get those pieces. As far as the thermometer goes, looks like we have a nut and a washer and then a threaded section. Threaded section just fits on in there, and then we'll put on a washer on the nut. Alright, so I'm just going to get a crescent wrench, give that a little wrench tight. There we are. Thermometer done, just center it up a little smidge. There we are, that's that. Next is the handle. So this is going to be the large handle and it has the screws already inserted into it. Alright, so let's get that attached. There we are, looking good. Let's see what's next. The lid stopper. Here's the lid stopper. There's already a screw right here in the top with a lock nut and a washer. So it looks like that'll just go down in the slot. So one problem is apparently that hole is too big. I'll try one of my other screws. So for these screws, it's our first problem, is that the either the hole is stripped out or the bolt provided is too small. So I'll see if I can find a nut or something to go on the back of this. I'll check my supplies, see if I got a nut to fit this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so as of right now, I do not have a nut to fit this bolt. And so I'm going to have to take this to Home Depot with me next time I go and find one to fit it. But for now, I'm just going to stick it down where it belongs. It will hold, it'll hold it in place, and it's not going to rattle around that much to be a big issue. But just for properly securing it in the future, I can take that bolt into Home Depot and get a nut that fits it, and then I'll tighten that down. But for now, it's going to be left like that. Alright, so that's the way the lid stopper helps, right there. Next, let's see what's next. Okay, so the grease bucket. Ah, that's what it is. So I got to remove the screws. Remember I mentioned on the hopper? I'll remove the screws and get the grease bucket out of there. And this big handle thing goes over there. Alright, fun stuff. So let's get into that. So this is what I was talking about here. This is their hiding spot for the grease bucket. So I'll remove these. Our grease buckets, and down inside is just a little auger for bringing the wood chips in. I guess I'll reattach this. And there we are. That is our grease bucket retrieved. It looks like they've given us a little liner and the bucket. Nice little Pit Boss logo in the side of the bucket. Pretty fancy. And that'll go over on the far side. Alright, so if you haven't noticed, in our metal dish there's a couple of screws remaining. And I am surmising, judging by there being no screws right here where the chimney goes, that these are for the chimney. So I'm going to run with that assumption and get this put on. Now, I'm not sure if there's supposed to be some kind of gasket on here. I'll have a quick look at the instructions before I cinch these home tight. Because there is this, I believe that is the gasket. So let's loosen this off again, get the gasket in place. Like so. There we are. Let's get that set in place. there we are. No screws in there now. So far so good. We got the chimney cap. That has a screw on it already, and then a receiving end there. So that should be pretty straightforward. There we are. Nothing left in that bag. And we got 2 thermometer probes left in this bag. So we got a couple little handles here with screws in them. I've seen already where these go, so let's get to some of the final assembly. Alrighty, so we got our accessory bar. Let's start off with that. There's 4 screws already in the side. I'm going to take those out. And this accessory bar looks symmetrical, top and bottom, doesn't look like there's any difference, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it right on. So next is going to be, sorry for your ears, this little serving tray. And that's what these 2 little handles are for. So get these laid out. Slowly getting through all the parts. We're almost down to only the grills now, I think. And these go up through like such. Alright, so there's our little serving tray done, and our grease bucket hangs down just like so. Serving tray, utensil rack. I think we're getting to the tail end of it here now. I think we're down to the grills. So let us get ready for that. Alrighty, so at this point in time I think we're ready to install the grills, and the reason I know that is because that's the only parts I have left. So let's do it. So first part to go in is the big flame broiler plate, and echo. So that goes in like such, I believe. Such. Alright, so the left side is supposed to be higher than the right side, and the slots on these should be over here, so I believe that is done successfully. So next we do our broiler cover, which is right here. And that just goes like that over the holes. And if you're going to flame sear, you uncover the flames to get a sear here, or you cover it to get full heat across the whole machine. Okay, so that's that. And now let's get our grills in there. Nice new grills. And these grills almost have like a tapered edge so that it's flatter on one side, duller or whatever, and comes to a raised point on the other. I'm going to have the raised points facing up. That'll provide less surface area for meat to stick to. There we are. We have one more grill. There's our upper grill. Try it this way. There we go. That is locked in place. There we are. That is done. So there you have it, folks. The grill is put together. We'll go over, have one more look over it. As you can see, lots of garbage and packing material, but thankfully most of that is cardboard, burnable, recyclable, whatever. So I think, you know, between the styrofoam and the plastic, not too bad of a packing job by Pit Boss. And so let's just go over and have a few final words and look at the final product. Alright, so there you have it, folks. That is the unboxing and assembly of the Pit Boss Austin XL grill. So I'm not going to get into using it today. Today's video is long enough, and I'll be 100% honest, I don't even have any wood pellets here, even if I wanted to use it. So I'm just going to assume that it's going to work correctly when I go to use it. And I'm going to also assume that my wife's going to be quite happy that this is finally put together. And you know, given the quality of this machine, this is not one that's going to be stored outside. I'm going to be storing it in here in the garage, wheeling it out when it's going to be used, and then putting it away again. So that's my intention. It doesn't have to be yours, but this is a lovely, lovely looking machine. Not sponsored in any way. Like I said, I bought it with my own money from Walmart. Got an excellent discount on it at the time. Hopefully it works as well as I think it will. And again, this is not a hybrid barbecue. This does not run on propane. This is pure wood pellet. There are hybrid ones out there where you can do propane as well, but this is not one of them. The only thing I would mention is when putting on the chimney on the side and putting that fiberglass gasket in there, just you know, you may want to watch how you're handling it, because I'm hearing I can feel some fiberglass in my finger. So do note that that can happen. Wear gloves or be very careful. And I think that's about it. I got a lot of tidying up to do as far as the packaging goes. But hopefully the reaction from my wife when she sees this put together is going to be worth any kind of hassle cleaning up now from this point forward. So there we go. I am now the proud owner, or we, me and my wife and family, are now proud owners of a Pit Boss grill. And I got to really get into the learning curve of how to use this thing properly. So there you have it. So again, hopefully you've subscribed. If you haven't, please do so. And hopefully you enjoyed the content, and you will check out my other videos that I've posted. And again, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you see when I do post more content. And I hope that this has been helpful to you, that you can now go ahead, tackle this project yourself, whether it's the Austin XL or another model by Pit Boss. I would think that the build quality and everything should be along the same lines, and I found the build quality to be great with pre-done holes and all that, with the exception of the lid stop. That was the only problem area at all. Everything else was very well put together and straightforward. So there you have it, folks. Done, together, can't wait to taste a bit of rabbit on this thing. Alright, so until the next video happens, guys and girls, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hope you're happy, hope you're healthy, take care of each other, and peace out.